All right, welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we are looking at something a little bit different.
Okay.
We've got a product description
Right.
for a blank journal.
Hmm.
It's called Cosmic Symbiosis, the Astrological Venom Journal.
Interesting.
And I think this is going to be a really fun one to dive into because usually we're looking at complex scientific theories or,
Yeah.
historical events.
Yeah.
But this time it's like an object. And it's an object that is supposed to inspire creativity and self-reflection.
Uh-huh.
So
I like it.
I'm really excited to see what we can learn about the intersection of art,
Yeah.
symbolism, and personal expression for something like this.
Absolutely.
So I guess the best place to start is with that title, Cosmic Symbiosis,
Yeah.
the Astrological Venom Journal.
Yeah. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it?
Right.
But I think it kind of sets the stage for what we're about to explore.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So cosmic symbiosis, it just sounds so vast and expansive, doesn't it? Like it's hinting at this interconnectedness between us
Yeah.
and the universe.
Right. And the
or cosmos.
I mean, how do you even begin to think about how something so massive,
Right.
like the cosmos, could have any kind of connection to our
Yeah.
own personal experiences?
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, It invites us to kind of contemplate the idea that we're not just these isolated beings,
Right.
Just walking around on this planet,
Yeah.
but rather we're part of this grand cosmic dance.
Mhm.
And, everything's interconnected in ways that we might not even fully grasp.
Totally. And then I think it gets even more interesting when you add that second part of the title,
Oh, yeah.
the Astrological Venom Journal.
No.
So we've got this idea of the cosmos,
Yeah.
this kind of like grand interconnectedness.
Hmm.
And then suddenly we're talking about venom,
Yeah.
which has this whole other set of connotations, right?
Yeah.
It's dangerous, it's potent, it can be deadly. It's definitely not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about
Right.
personal growth or,
No, not really.
self-discovery.
It's not your typical, fluffy bunny, self-help journal.
Right, exactly.
There's an edge to it.
Yeah, there's a darkness there
Yeah.
that you don't normally see in these kinds of things.
Exactly.
So how do we reconcile these two seemingly opposing ideas?
I think that's the central question, right?
Yeah.
How do we bring together the vastness of the cosmos
Yeah.
and something as primal and as potentially destructive as venom?
I think the description kind of gives us a clue
Okay.
because it mentions this concept of duality.
Ah, I see where you're going.
So how do you see that concept of duality playing out in this journal?
Well, I think it's all about recognizing that just as the universe contains both light and darkness, creation and destruction,
Right.
we also hold those contrasting forces within ourselves.
Right.
We have our light side
Yeah.
and we have our shadow side.
The things that we want to hide.
Yeah, exactly. The parts of ourselves that we maybe don't always want to acknowledge,
Right.
but they're there.
They're still a part of us.
Yeah, and maybe instead of trying to suppress them or deny them,
Yeah.
what if we could learn to embrace them?
Interesting.
You
So this journal
Yeah,
is encouraging us to look at both the light and the shadow.
exactly.
And I guess that kind of goes back to that idea of symbiosis.
Yeah, because
Oh,
symbiosis suggests a relationship where seemingly opposite forces can actually coexist
okay.
and even benefit from each other.
I see. So it's not about getting rid of the darkness
No.
or pretending it's not there.
It's about finding a way for those forces to work together
Yeah.
to create something new,
Yeah.
to create a kind of balance.
Like a cosmic balance.
Exactly.
So we're talking about embracing our light and our shadow sides,
Mm-hmm.
but how does that actually play out in a journal?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
This journal becomes a space for us to explore those hidden parts of ourselves,
Right.
the parts that we might not want to show to the world.
Yeah.
It's a place where we can be completely honest with ourselves
Okay.
without judgment.
So like a safe space.
Yeah, exactly. A safe space to confront our fears,
Yeah.
our insecurities, our anger, our rage.
Or venom.
Exactly.
Okay. But I still don't quite get how that connects to the cosmos part.
Well, remember,
Yeah.
the title also mentions astrology.
Right.
So imagine using this journal to track the lunar cycle
Uh-huh.
and reflect on how its phases correspond to your own emotional state.
Okay.
That's a really powerful way to connect with the cosmos on a personal level
Interesting.
and to observe those internal tides, those rhythms.
So we're using the journal as a tool
Yeah,
to see how we're connected to something much bigger than ourselves.
exactly. And to explore how those cosmic energies might be influencing us.
And I guess that Venom-inspired figure on the cover.
Yeah. What about that?
Maybe it's a reminder that those darker, more intense emotions are also part of the cosmic dance.
I think you're right. Right.
I mean, venom, despite its negative connotations,
Yeah.
it can also be seen as a force of transformation, right?
Oh, okay.
It can be a catalyst for change.
Interesting.
So maybe those shadow cells, those venomous parts of ourselves,
Yeah.
if we can acknowledge them and integrate them, they can actually become sources of power
Wow.
and creativity.
I like that.
Yeah.
Turning poison into medicine.
Exactly.
Using that venom for good.
Precisely.
And this is where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because the description specifically calls out to dreamers, writers, and artists. What do you think it is about this particular journal that speaks to those creative types?
Well, I think it's offering a space for unconventional self-expression.
Right.
You know, the imagery itself is unconventional.
Yeah.
It's not your typical flowery, inspirational journal.
Yeah, this one feels a little bit edgier.
Yeah, it's got an edge to it, right?
Yeah.
It's more daring, and I think that might appeal to people who want to delve into the depths of their creativity.
Right. You know, explore the unconventional and perhaps even challenge those societal norms.
It makes you wonder what kind of entries would fill its pages.
Right.
Wild stream of consciousness rants.
Or maybe.
Dark poetry.
Could be.
Detailed sketches of fantastical creatures.
It could be all of that and more.
Yeah.
Maybe it becomes a place to document dreams and explore their symbolism, or to work through creative blocks by confronting those inner critics.
Right.
The point is, it's a blank canvas.
Yeah.
It's a space where those dreamers, writers, and artists can just let their imaginations run wild.
Without judgment.
Exactly.
So we got this intriguing object.
Yeah.
This astrological venom journal.
Quite a name.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to connect us with the cosmos, help us embrace our own duality. But what does this all mean for the listener?
Well, I think it challenges you to consider how you approach with self-expression and creativity.
Okay.
Are you willing to delve into those shadows, explore the unconventional, embrace the full spectrum of your being?
Right.
And how might connecting with the cosmos, with those larger cycles and rhythms, empower you to tap into a deeper well of creativity?
It's making me want to go buy this journal.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Maybe this journal, with its bold imagery and open invitation, is the key to unlocking that hidden potential within you.
That's a great place to leave it, I think. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.